Don't remind me. Yeah. Yeah.
You
And outside
too.
of the LSD spray, like your party was a whole like what not to do, you know?
Ooh, for your birthday.
For me, yeah.
Got it. Well,
Well, I love the party situation. Yeah, 100%. But I like to know about it.
I have to say, well, we can save it for the podcast. You'll ask me how I feel about it, I assume.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
been
gonna I'm gonna take an
sexually
interest, an
interviewing
active
us.
interest.
Mhm. What a present.
Uh, Hello, YouTube.
My
Yeah,
birthday, YouTube.
it
Send
is
me
fucking
love.
it
Send
is
me love.
Casey Eli's 40th birthday. He has now under the idea that he is going to live to at least 80, you are officially middle aged.
I'm
But
living to be a.
realistically, you are probably middle aged at 35.
I'm gonna live to be 120 years old.
Oh, is that true?
You know how I sometimes we joke about how I'm clairvoyant, or I joke at it and you listen to me say it? Because there was that one time where I had the dream.
You say that you joke. Is it like you mean that you know that it's not true, right?
Well, I
You
I'm
like when you
hoping it's not true because I had like there was that one time I dreamed that we were going to win the election and we won the election. And then there's that one time
which
that
one? The Biden one?
the midterms, like everyone saying we were going to get crushed, and I had that dream that like we did well in a midwestern state, and then I was like, for some reason I feel like we're going to not do as bad as we thought, and that was
Yeah, I
true.
remember that.
Then there was a time that I dreamed my father was in a was in an ambulance, and then he had a minor heart attack the next day, which was like
No, I don't
concerning.
remember that one.
That's
But I
true.
mean,
I've brought it
I'm
up
sure.
before.
Listen, you say a lot.
And then 2 nights ago I had two dreams. One was that the world was ending, which
My
doesn't
God.
seem that prescient. I feel like anyone we're all think our subconscious is reacting in that way, to the events surrounding us. But another dream was I had stomach cancer. And I was like, that seems specific. And now I have phantom, hopefully,
Do
pains
you
in
have
my
pains?
stomach area.
Are you having pains?
A little bit. It's a specific
Yeah.
spot. So I'm gonna get a doctor.
So wait, have,
Which is why I was on a phone call earlier, making sure things were in order.
oh, I thought it was for a gig. I thought that you were like, um, wait, what was the text
I
of
said
the
medical benefits. I think that's unless
yeah,
it.
medical benefits. I was like, oh, I thought you said to host. I have a phone call for a medical benefits. Oh, medical benefits. Oh, I thought you got hired to like host some kind of medical benefit because you're a funny comedian. Listen, I did a weed review today. And so I,
Huh.
you
Yeah,
know,
at no point in that does it even
medical
imply any of
benefits.
that. Well, it says clearly medical benefits. It doesn't say hosting a gig or
No.
anything like that
I
at all.
thought, well, I hope.
No, I needed a couple extra minutes because I have stomach cancer apparently.
Well, I hope that you don't.
Same.
That's a to be continued. YouTube. So,
And I hate it's a double edged sword because on the one hand, if I do, I'll be like, I am clairvoyant. On the other hand, I'll be like,
well, okay, I guess. So wait. What do we want? What do we want? And by we, I mean the listeners and me, as me from listening to you. What do I want out of this situation? Because apocalypse is like doom for everybody,
well, I
right?
feel like, well, keep going.
Whereas like stomach cancer, if
Is a
you're the
burden.
clairvoyant you think you are, then you've caught it well in advance.
That's the hope.
So you'll be fine. So I think it's okay to root for stomach cancer.
Well, I'm hoping maybe that it was just because I also had like a lot of cake the night before in my stomach that I had cake cancer or
Yeah,
even diabetes. I mean,
your
that's
cake was a
manageable.
cake with cookies on it. It's like they knew you, girl. Do you want to do a show?
Yeah, I have an opener too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
God, I love that. It's your birthday. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and set an alarm. I'm gonna go ahead and give you like three.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gay Power Half Hour, the only gay podcast on the internet that is just like Casey's day of birth, because at various points it can be extremely painful for my mother, but also ultimately full of joy with birthday boy Casey Lai and
Your best friend who's here to listen, Tony Soto. Casey Lai, happy birthday. It is your birthday show. The day that this actually goes up onto the iTunes is actually your birthday, which is November 16th, everybody. Wow. November 16th. It's been drilled in my head for years. And I think it's finally stuck. I think I finally did it. Happy birthday.
I think you're remembering it because now you know
it's trauma. I have trauma.
Or you also, at least this year, are getting presents from my family on my birthday. So I imagine now it sticks in your brain because it's another present day for you. I think I should get presents for your birthday.
They had to smooth out the trauma. Okay. They had to smooth out the trauma. So ladies and gentlemen, listeners, far and wide, or local, more likely, Casey is 40 and he has the most loving and supportive family one could want, almost to the point of weirdness. And over the weekend, we threw a surprise party for Casey Lai, a surprise birthday party for Casey Lai. We flew in best friend number one all the way from, well, we didn't. I didn't do shit. Yeah. I'm sure she flew herself in. Miss Rich, best friend number one, came in. Best friend number two, Eric, canceled his trip to see Beyonce to keep you distracted.
It was Madonna.
Whatever.
I don't think is that why she canceled it?
I don't know. That's the story she's going to tell you, I'm sure. And then honestly, I don't know. And then best friend number three, the best friend, literally was at the helm of the entertainment for your said birthday party. Did you have fun?
Yeah, you're leaving out another best friend. Nicola threw the party at her house.
Oh my God, Nicola! Of course, because then that makes me 4, and I don't want to be further down the fucking list. All right, so then it goes Rich, Nicola
first.
Eric.
Nicola first.
Oh, Nicola first, then Rich, then Eric, and then fucking me. Great.
And to be fair, you guys kind of completely overlooked my first best friend, Andrew Williams, who did send me a text message being like, "Why wasn't I invited?" But you don't know him. He's my bestie from the younger years. We grew up next to each other. And
does he live here?
He lived with me in San Francisco. No, he lives with his 2 kids and his wife in somewhere in Massachusetts. And so I can understand why he didn't come. But what I love
a lot of baggage over there at the first of all. This is the thing about if you saddle up next to Casey Lai, if you're best friends with Casey Lai, you have to know that he's got one on every coast, north and south, east and west. He's got childhood best friends. He's got the first time we ever fucking went somewhere best friends. Like it's nuts. So you're sharing room with a lot of people.
Well, I think,
although we're Casey, he's sharing room with maybe 4.
Yeah, I mean, also, I feel like a couple of things on that. One, you're talking about baggage. Yeah, one thing to know is that if you are going to be one of my best friends, I've cleared a lot of room for you to bring a lot of your baggage into our best friend room. And believe me, now it's piling up with number 4 over here, or 5 if we are including Mr. Andrew Williams, who what I love about all of my friends, and it's been true since my youngest days to my oldest days, my friend texted me after seeing Instagram stories, and without saying happy anything, what he talked about was being upset that he didn't get invited to it. So he made it about himself, which I think you can see as a bit of a connective thread between some of my best friends.
The thing is Andrew, I never heard about you. So
you have actually, but you just don't.
Did she listen to this show?
She's not gay. I don't think so. Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
See, then listen, I can't. Wait, I have met them.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Not on your birthday show. I've talked about him for sure. I'm not gaslighting you. I would never gaslight.
Not ever. You've never.
You don't hear the sound of straight men's names. Andrew.
Andrew what?
Williams.
Yeah, it's a very white name. That literally blends in with the background of anything that you say. That's like,
I'll tell you, he can't blend in. He's much too loud.
I like loud. Listen,
I know you like loud.
I like loud heterosexual. Well, listen, we threw a roast. We did a roast for you.
Well, let me say before moving on.
We're not moving on. We're still talking about.
No, I don't want to move on. I know, but like it was a surprise party, and I was truly surprised. You guys have been planning it for months allegedly, and I had like, you know, my friends are loudmouths, and some of them are drunken loudmouths, and so the fact that some of them knew this for months and didn't let it slip is truly an impressive feat of restraint on so many people's parts, and I'm thrilled by that. Everyone, you know, like it was, people were like, did you know? I didn't know. And one reason is like my family and my friends in like a group all just are, there's just always a lot. It's all very chaotic, you know? And so I didn't have a minute to be like, does this not feel normal? I look back and there are moments where I'm like, oh, that actually now makes sense why that seemed weird and that seemed weird. But you guys pulled it off. There were like, how many people were there?
Family. You like have a very busy family.
I do have a busy family. Were there like 40 plus people, 50 people there? I didn't get a full count, but it was a lot of people. I mean,
like I think we had like 40 people on the invite list, and I think like they all showed up. I mean, I truly don't know. The night took a turn, and it was a very, very fun party. I was shocked that no one else ruined
freaked out and had to leave like you.
But first of all, how dare you? But what I realized is that I'm great at keeping the secret because I never thought about it once. Like leading up to it, like once, because like my job was to book the talent, and that was easy because that's our friends.
Yeah.
So I booked the show, and then they all knew how to do it, and so I was like, well,
there was a roast, and that was another surprise part, and a little unfair. Because the focus of a roast,
you were down there jotting shit down. Look, this is the thing. Casey can never just sit and take it. She's gonna if she's gonna pull out her little pocketbook of papers and she's gonna jot down retorts and rebuttals. So don't sit here and be like it wasn't fair, because it's not like you didn't stand up and take a good 30 minutes.
This is why I don't understand why I get all of this negative pushback when I say that I'm a top. Because you're right, I can't just sit there and take it. Okay, I need to be a tad
That's a
busier.
Weird twist. That's a weird reach. So I mean, it's your birthday show, so I'm here to listen. But
I'm at this point, to put it in a way that I don't love, I'm a middle-aged top now. Okay. Tony almost threw up if you're not watching YouTube, which is what you want in a response from your best friend when you get real.
Look, I want you to be whatever you want to be, Queen. I'm happy. I'm just happy you're still standing upright after, you know, your 40 years of
being a real good time.
Abuse of your fucking cuerpo.
What did you say? What'd you call my butthole? But we're calling it a queer puh now. The roast was great. It was you and my best friends. It was Alan Strickland Williams. It was Lisa Chanou. It was James Fritz, and it was also my sister Jenny Lai. Shout out to Jenny Lai.
Shout out to Jenny Lai coming with
Everyone's
the
still
poem.
talking about it. Yeah. And a good choice for the one sole family member to talk shit about me.
Which honestly, I didn't believe. I didn't believe it when your mom said it, because your mom said, she's like, Jenny's going to speak for the family, and I was like, just Jenny? Yeah, I bet. I was like, because the bar set up. Oh wait, your mom came with you. Oh no, y'all were drinking. There's no way you all weren't drinking before.
I mean,
party.
No, I hadn't had a sip before I got there. I thought I was being taken to a dinner with 10 of my friends and family members, and then it was all, we show up at this house. We were going to get drinks ahead of time, my good friend Nicholas' house. And I walked in and I saw my uncle and like people, and our first registered, and I was like, wait, why is everyone here already? And then the surprise happened, and I just kept seeing people that I wasn't expecting to see, and it was truly amazing. We have talked about how neither of us really ever wanted a surprise party for a variety of reasons, and I don't know if I need another one, but it was when it was done well, and it was a surprise, and it was really lovely, and I cried. I was so thrilled. I cried.
Yeah. You got emotional and whatnot. Look, I just need you to know that as your fourth best friend,
right.
I remember our conversations about surprise parties. And so initially, when the idea was dropped, I said, I don't know. I think maybe he would appreciate more if he knew what was going on and had a say in it. And your mother was like, no, because she wanted a surprise party, and she got her surprise party. Jeanette, you got your surprise party, and it was fabulous. We loved it.
And let me say, I feel like,
what did you tell me yesterday?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, I don't know. And I think none of us know how the world's going to go. And I don't think, anyone really thinks, who knows if I'm going to get married, mainly because I don't know. I never really wanted I might get married, but I don't really want a big wedding, And so I think in my mom's mind, she kind of was like, this is my chance to do the thing I've been wanting to do for 40 years, which is throw my son a wedding for him. It's like, it's not the same thing, but it's like, I think she's so thrilled. And Mom, you're listening, because I know you're listening.
She said wedding in an email chain.
Absolutely adore you. And also Dad has, you all came together. My whole family came together to lie to me for 4 months. And
then they filmed, they had the roast filmed. Like
really astounding.
So you
me.
have like,
and I hope now, Mom and Dad, you won't be disappointed if I don't get married and have a wedding, because we threw a party that was honestly so fucking fun. And it was all about me, not some other schmuck too, and that's what I love.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I had to go, because the acid was going to make me make it about me. And I was like, I got to get out of here.
We did have a friend going around, God bless his soul, spraying acid LSD spritz into people's mouths. And some people took it and some people didn't. And some people took a lot more than others.
I didn't know it came in Binaca form. Yeah, I didn't need the last 3 squirts. You know what I mean? I didn't need them.
If that's not a lesson for your 40s.
When I went to the bathroom of Nicola's beautiful home. And now this is a toilet that does all the work for you. So it's easy to get lost in the mirror while it's taking, seat warming up and lifting up and whatnot. And my face was just going in on itself. It's like, well, I should go home. But I went to the high tops first, and then I was like, I could not be here. And then I went home.
I love that you rather than have a minor mini freak out at my party, making it all about you, that you chose to leave, which is honestly something that shows that you're maturing in your older age as well.
Yeah. Well, listen, Casey, this is your birthday show.
Yeah.
We have a whole list of things to talk about today.
And you know what I want to talk about for my birthday? Gaza!
And that's not on the list today.
Just kidding. Yeah.
So where should we start? What do you want to talk about today?
Honestly, Tony, you are my favorite host. So I want to know, not of this show, but of most other shows. And so I want you to lead the way.
Also, I should host more comedy shows. Like, I should be asked to host more comedy shows because I hosted that roast and I went in there with nothing.
We could tell, and you really pulled a lot out, and it really felt good. Everyone did such a good job. You, of course, you hosted the shit out of the show. You should host more shows. I'm one thing that I didn't get to say, even though I think you were supposed to be listening, this show was that during the roast, I was when I found out there was a roast, which was pretty soon after being surprised by everyone. I was like, well, that is great, and I can't wait. But it's annoying because like I didn't have any time to talk shit about you guys. But then I was like, when I saw who it was, I was like, well, I do have a lot of negative things to say about you all guys to begin with. I've been thinking about that for about 8 years.
Yeah, I kept it easy for you. And listen, no strangers were beating down the door to roast you, okay?
But it was everyone was so funny. Honestly, people got a show. Like that was like one of the funniest shows. Like if I was a famous person, we could sell that and make money because it was such. I wish that we could have
traded your spots with Nico Santos and you. Because he was just sitting. He was being unused in the corner. His famous ass just. Freshly married.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a part of me that was like, "Are we not gonna have one of the actual famous people come and roast me? Oh, it's just gonna all be my friends. Bummer." But okay.
Well, I asked Nico, and he was like, I don't like him like that.
It was also his wedding the week before. He didn't need to write roast.
Yeah. They were just coming from their honeymoon and whatnot. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to some topics before the show is over because so much is going on. The Republican Party, of course, is on fire. We have Ronna McDaniel out on the offensive after Ohio went completely berserk and added abortion rights into their constitution. We have Donald Trump saying,
even people from Ohio are like, you know what? We don't need more people from Ohio. So we're going to need to keep abortion.
Yeah, we should give some of these morons an option always.
Yeah.
We have Trump going around talking about how he is going to take out communists and Marxists and fascists and radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country. His writer is really pulling it out right now. And we have Tim Scott trying to not be gay, but it still didn't work after hiring that white lady to play his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. He still is no longer a presidential candidate. That's just a little bit off the top.
My favorite thing of the week, I thought it was going to be McCarthy sucker punching some other yokel, but it was the Senator Mark Wayne Mullen from, I believe, Oklahoma, and he got into a fight with the Teamsters president Sean O'Brien. And during a Senate hearing, and they both kind of stood up and mad dogged each other from their various sides. And Bernie Sanders had to remind Mark Wayne Mullen that he was a senator. And let me just say, I can understand why it's hard to remember you're a senator when your name is Mark Wayne. One word, Mark Wayne. No offense, all the Mark Waynes out there who are listeners to our show, but your name is
I'd love to know how many there are.
Senatorial standpoint. Choose one, Mr. Mark Wayne Mullen. Anyway, I loved they literally were going to come to fights. And then when he justified it, he was like, yeah, well, Andrew Jackson used to challenge people to duels. And it's like, okay, so why don't you just challenge him to a fucking duel, Mark Wayne?
Yeah, you're not that because you're not impregnating your slaves, I hope. And
fingers
also,
crossed.
Those people, like, look, I don't understand why we're trying to look. Our forefathers were like 2 steps from cave people. All right. So, they weren't freshly washed. They were gross fucking men who were power hungry. So I don't think you should be comparing yourself to that situation. But like, this is like shit that was just bound to happen. Like, we're still waiting for Marjorie Taylor and Lauren Boebert fucking knockdown drag out. But like, this is the second time that this Mullins guy and this Teamster guy have had a fight. The second time. Like, but now we have fucking Bernie in the midst. Like, like trying to remind that fucking thug that he's a senator, which is hilarious. Way to go, Oklahoma. Um, but it's like Bernie, that man. I mean, like Bernie, like first of all, like what Bernie, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get in the middle of it? Like I would have loved to have seen Mullins jump over and then the guy. I mean, like if we're gonna do it, like here's the thing: at least McCarthy made contact with the fucking old man. I mean, he might be a bitch and might be saying he didn't, but at least he did get one of those bitch checks in.
What a little bitch, Kevin
What
McCarthy.
a little bitch.
Little bitch. I mean, not to use the language that used to call each other, they used to call each other names these days, but Kevin McCarthy is a little fucking bitch. And like, not, I mean, not it is one of those things where it's funny and how absurd it is, but it's like these people have so much power in this country to derail things, and it's such a fucking joke. But I mean, I think they're like, it was during the Jim Jordan speaker fight when all of a sudden, like, people were getting death threats if they were not supporting Jim Jordan. And we're always talking about the other, and they're always saying, you guys are fucking full of shit and you're pussies because you can't handle a little fucking political realness. And they're saying it's probably Antifa just calling people up to do death threats. Now they're realizing, no, it's not. It's Republican staffers who work for you, and it's actually you as well. And they're coming for you because when you disagree on that side, the other side starts to want to kill you. And if, like, Mike Johnson, our Christy Speaker of the House, wants to not, they're all closet. Did you hear about his pornography deal with his son? They have like some app or some program that when one of them looks at porn, the other one gets a notification. Like it's like it's like they're like supporting each other to kick their pornography addiction. Anyway, I digress. We'll jump into that. Yeah. So I mean, we didn't prepare to talk about that, but I'll let you look into that. We'll get there next week. But like,
that's wild, yes.
But he's gonna have to have Democrats join him if he doesn't want to shut the government down. And so, what is that gonna?
I think it passed, didn't it? Like, aren't we? I think like at this point, I think Biden said that he would sign it if it came to it, and it went.
Yeah, they haven't done it yet, but like,
it went to the Senate though. It's on, like, it is in the Senate though right now.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, but no, like this is the thing too. But and they're saying that they think that the reason why they did that was because, I mean, that's ultimately what got McCarthy fucking ousted from his job, was because he worked with Democrats,
right?
And so they were thinking that might be the play. But isn't it just wild that, like, bipartisan getting shit done is like not the fucking plan on either side, really?
I mean, it's like, no, it's not.
We're playing ball now, like, which is cool, but
well, we would have played ball with McCarthy too. Like, we could have avoided it. Literally, the same thing's going to happen, and the only difference is that it took 2 fucking extra months, and you had to go through a whole fucking speaker chaotic election, several chaotic speaker elections to make it happen. And whatever, it's shitty for them, or shut it down, because anything that's bad for them at this point, Biden's gonna need all the fucking help he gets winning the election. And if the Republicans continue to show that they can't be trusted with fucking nothing, then that is good for us.
I just wonder, it's like, you've always had extreme politicians throughout history get, voted in and whatnot. But like, it's like, but when did but they've always had a knowledge of basic politics for the most part, up until, like, I mean, I don't know when was the turning point where now it's like the people who are running are literally just fucking bobos from, like, no form of education, no, like, fucking any, like, when did this happen? Because now it's like a bunch of fucking people who don't know how government works trying to make government work.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been those elements. The reason that they have achieved the audience that they've been able to achieve to get the power that they ultimately now have is, in my mind, purely social media. Purely. I think that's the big change. It went from having, you
Fucking
had,
Zuckerberg.
Newt Gingrich was a fucking piece of shit and who was a grandstander and who flamed terrible ideas and conspiracy theories to gain power. But he knew exactly what he was. He's smart as fucking fuck. I don't think he believed a lot of the things that he was saying, but he is like, you can kind of put him as like the beginning of the chaotic Republican Congresses, because he kind of brought that group into power. A lot of these fucking people who are now kind of in power, although losing out to the younger group, are people who came in to Congress with Newt Gingrich in like the in the 90s. And they learned how to be fucking, cynical nihilists then. But now it's the people who don't know anything and don't believe anything, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, because what she is good at is being an Instagram influencer. And that gets you for her side. Yeah. She's a fucking giant.
So. I mean, I don't know why anyone wants to see that dog face fucking bitch do anything. Like every time I get a visceral reaction every time I see her anywhere. And I mean, her and the Bobert. And like fucking shaky voice Susan Collins. Don't get me. It's like I want more from conservative women. I'm like
he has a condition for being a dumb bitch.
Something that I did not know about that you brought to this list that I found very interesting was that, interesting, but not at all surprised, that in Texas, even the theater is a little backwards. A trans boy was cast in a musical, Oklahoma.
In the movie,
very like, Oklahoma is from what I remember, fun show. Lots of dancing around, lots of.
And to be fair, one of the, straighter of our Rodgers and Hammerstein gay musicals, it is about cowboys and the Indians, and nothing says America like singing and dancing and stealing people's land.
Exactly. But this young boy was later removed from the show because it caused controversy because he was trans. And
so because he was cast in the role in a male role,
right,
and according to the new fascist gender rules that are in place in places like Texas and Oklahoma, I don't know about Oklahoma, probably. You can't display. You can't. It's about gender.
You can't represent the gender that you were not born into. Correct.
Yes.
Or assigned at birth. So because of that, they're basically were saying that this little boy was a little girl in drag.
Right.
And that backwards fucking thinking. I mean, that's literally like why when this whole like drag hysteria happened, like when it was like, it's still happening, by the way, but like, I mean, like when they would like protest brunches and shit like this, and like when that shit was happening, and everyone was all like, Tony, like, what do you think about what's happening to drag queens? And I'm like, we are literally just the entrance way. We're what's making it like commercially known. But mind you, none of these laws are here to affect drag queens.
No,
like it is here to discriminate against trans people, and we're seeing that here.
I mean, it's been documented over and over again that the religious right groups who used abortion to cudgel people into voting for Republicans lost their issue once Dobbs was overturned. They won, even though they're now losing, but they won, and they needed a new issue, and trans issues polled the best. And so that is why they are now fighting against trans people is because it polls the best to get their masses to vote Republicans. It's the only reason. It has nothing to do with anything else, and it is the people who are hurting. They are not being hurt because of ideological or deeply held religious beliefs. They're being hurt for political, deeply cynical reasons, and this is real. And also, it's like, say what you want about trans people getting to play in sports, and people being blocked from it. I mean, it's all nonsense to me, but I can understand the argument, I guess, of someone who has different sorts of hormones coursing through their body up against people who do not. That being said, we are talking about the theater, okay? And these are let queer people have theater. If you don't let us have theater,
that's all we have.
It's all we want. I'm more confused with people who want to play sports to begin with. Okay, this is our fucking sports. And also, the thing that is role.
I mean, listen. Say what you listen. I'm all for gays that play sports, but just know you're the minority. When it comes to gays, the gays, the gay go and gay at the theater.
Yeah, and we're not just talking Beetlejuice, Lauren Boebert, okay? Jerk Off Juice musical, Jerk Off Juice the musical.
But maybe maybe Casey, it's because we're old. Like maybe it's different now. Maybe like it's not so much of a refuge.
When the musicals on theater,
the middle-aged gays, such as ourselves.
You are right. I would say probably the Taylor Swift movie of her concert probably is the highest-grossing movie musical of all time.
They still got a costume to that thing, and it's just sad. It's like, listen, you couldn't afford the concert. You shouldn't be able to wear a costume to the movie. It's weird.
It's unfortunate. Although I was also like the role that this boy was playing, and I don't know for a fact, but his name does sound pretty white. Is the role of Ali Hakim, the Persian salesman. So if the liberals want a reason to cancel him, they can cancel him now too because he is a white boy.
Did they change his name? At least, I mean, I get it. What if they don't have a brownish student? I find it hard to believe that isn't a Mario or a fucking Juan.
I would say they could get a bit closer than like a Mark Harrington. But you
a reason not to like it on both sides.
Turns out we should all just watch TikTok anyway.
I hope he slays. All right, I hope he fucking.
I'm sure he will.
Well, listen, Casey, happy birthday. It's the end of your birthday show.
Which means it's closer to my actual birthday. So I got to figure out how
to
cling to these last few moments of my 30s.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad to watch her cling on to it because she keeps her fingernails cut so short. Why don't you tell people what you're doing? You're doing something tonight, though, right?
Yeah. If you are listening to this show on Thursday, you can come see me, Casey Lai, birthday boy, at the Peacock Show. I'll be hosting the show. That's at TG's in Atwater. At 8:00, and it's a really great show. The lineup is bonkers tonight, actually. So come on out to that show, and then we can go out for drinks afterwards. Even if you've never met me, we can come out for drinks afterwards.
You should give me a ride to it,
and you should give me a present. I will do that. Yeah. I will do that, Tony. You can also see me on Friday of this month at the Glendale. This week at the Glendale Room at 8 p.m. It's in Glendale, and then on December 7th, you can see me at Popular Kids Club at Permanent Records. So a bunch of shows coming up. It's a really good show, so I'm promoting it now. Come, I like to talk about it. It's my birthday. I can say whatever I want, Tony. If you aren't watching the show, you can see Tony looking at me skeptically because I know he's thinking December 7th. That's like seven months away. And you can find me on Instagram, Casey Ley. And Tony, where can they find you?
Just
not your birthday. Who cares?
Just sitting here actively listening, just actively listening. If you want to see what I'm up to in drag, it's Tony Soto Productions on Instagram. If you want to just see what I'm up to in general, it's the Tony Soto Show on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, the TonySotoShow.com. and many other things that I'm doing in the world. We'll be back again next week. It won't be Casey's birthday.
It'll be Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that's right. Well, we did it.